Welcome once again to the Ben Smith Show here on BCHS TV Bear Network, we call it. Go to YouTube, look it up, and just simply subscribe to that for free. You'll be notified anytime one of our shows are ready for your viewing pleasure. Being joined now by Bradley Central head wrestling coach, Mr. Ben Smith. Been around a long time. I guess I should call you Mr.
It's my dad.
Introduce the young folks you brought here today.
Awesome. Well, thanks. I appreciate you having us again. I got some of my favorite people with me today. So I've got Brooklyn Stansberry, one of our only senior female wrestlers, 145. Is that right? Yep. And she's kind of a utility. She wrestles up when and where the team needs us, needs her to. And then I've got my 132/138 pounder Ty Crisp, or TYE. It's Ty with two E's. It's a long E. And then Gunnar Taylor. He's a senior at 152/160 pounds. And I say that because we talked about the descending and the descent weights. And that's kind of the uniqueness of wrestling is, you know, you may play two positions in basketball, but in wrestling you can wrestle multiple weight classes. But yeah, this is some of my favorite kids on the team, you know, and I don't mean that the way it sounds, other than they're just very enjoyable to be around. You know, they're always very pleasant, very kind, text you on their holidays, birthdays, stuff like that. Just some good people here.
Kind of kids you love to coach.
They're the kind of kids you love to coach.
Brooklyn, we talked, we had some time together yesterday afternoon. You were on our show once last year, I think it was.
Yes, sir.
Tell us again, I know how this happened. Tell us how you got interested in starting wrestling and why you pursued it.
Well, my dad's an alumni and my brother wrestled. So I was a manager my freshman year, and then I converted over to actually wrestling my sophomore year.
And I ask you this, Jess, can you whip any of those guys in your family?
Yes, I can.
100%. She could whip Chase in a heartbeat. Yeah.
Ty, what got you into wrestling?
I mean, really, to be honest, I think it was because none of my family really carried on with sports as much. Like, they might have done it a year, but they quit. I wanted to make more of myself and carry on a legacy for myself, so I can, for my future and my kids' future and whatever. So I wanted to make, you know, and I wanted to be a role model for my brother, show that you're not supposed to quit, even though you go through some stuff.
Yeah, super good. How long have you been wrestling? Where'd you start at, too?
I think I started fourth, fifth grade, and I've been wrestling since then.
And these guys are all seniors here. Taylor, Gunnar, I mean, tell us your background. How long, what got you into wrestling? When? How long been wrestling?
My dad used to wrestle in middle school, and he kind of introduced me to it whenever I was like 5 or 6, and it kind of just stuck. So I've been wrestling since then. Yeah.
So you got some guys been in it a long time. She's been around. She's been wrestling, what, 3 years now? And you guys want to try to wrestle in college or high school going into your career, you think, or what?
No, I'm thinking about going to the Navy, probably.
Joining the Navy?
Yeah.
Great place to join, you know, great career there too, you know. How about you, Gunnar?
I think I'm just going to focus on college. My academics are really important to me, so I think I'm just going to focus on them.
Yeah, and I was asking, I must ask almost every athlete we have here, where do you see yourself 20 years from now when you're out of education behind you, you're out working? What kind of job would you see yourself doing, or what would you like to do as a mature adult?
I want to be an allergist, so it's like a person that helps people with allergies or asthma.
In the medical field, then?
Yes, sir.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I could have used you a while back.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
How about you, Ty?
Well, I'll be in the Navy, so if I enjoy it, stick it out. I'll be working to get my good retirement, and then come out being a welder, like an underwater welder or something like that.
Have you talked to out there at the Pie Center? There was one of the instructors filling in a couple weeks ago. He was an underwater welder. Our nurse's husband, you know, our nurse here, her husband was an underwater welder, and he can tell you some fascinating stories about that. Brooke?
My plan is to become a physical therapist, and the end goal is to own my own clinic. So.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
There's another mic could use down the road. You know, you get older, bones get brittle like mine. You know.
Yeah.
So what are you going to be when you grow up, Ben?
I'm still trying to grow up. There's days where it's like, man, you know, when I with a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old, and I get so used to baby talk at home that sometimes I just come here and it just comes out of me. But no, I mean, it's like I said, just being around these guys and girls. you can see why they're some of my favorite people. You know, they're all really good on the mats. They've all been in and out and are currently in the rankings in their respective weight classes. And, you know, they get the bigger picture. You know, unless you're going to be a coach in the sport of wrestling, there's not a professional league for it, you know, and when you get to that high level, senior level, there's only, you know, 7 or so girl Olympic weight classes and 10 Olympic weight classes on that senior level, you know, and so you got 17 athletes in the entire country that are getting paid to wrestle. You know, there's not a career in it, you know. So they're focused on taking these tools and these skills and these intangibles that this sport teaches you and applying it to other areas of their life. And, you know, like I said, I mean, we want to win. We want to win state championships, and we want to be successful while we're here. And it's like the Bible says, work as unto the Lord. You know, while we're here, we want to give forth our best effort. But, you know, being able to do life with these young men and young women in the community down the road, if we can provide them with some great memories, awesome. And if not, even fine. You know, they're still going to have a good experience here at Bradley Central High School. But being able to see them to succeed, you know, again, I have a job where I don't work a day. You know, I love what I do. You know, even the days where it's hard to love it. You know, the days you don't like it, you still love it. But you know, if they can find a career like I do, like I have, where it's like, man, I really enjoy what I do. I really enjoy the impact what I make. It's not really work at that point. So being able to see and hear and be a part of what they're doing, you know, and I've been around Gunner for a long time and his family. What a wonderful family. You know, Ty's family and I grew up together, and I really appreciate what Ty said. You know, I mean, the goal is to be better. And, you know, as parents, we want our children to be better than us. We want our athletes to be better than us as coaches. And you know, Ty's dad, Quantel, and his mom, Ashley, and they'll tell you, like, we want Ty to be better. And the fact that he's focused on, like, yeah, I'm going to win a state championship or two in the next couple of weeks, but I'm also going to go to the Navy, and I'm going to provide a career for my family to be better than, you know, like, that's a success in and of itself.
Absolutely.
You know, and Brooklyn, coming from the family that she has, you know, she's got no other option but to succeed. And, you know, they're just really, like I said, man, this is a really special group for me, not just these guys, but as a whole. This is a really special group for me. So it's neat to hear those things. So, you know, they won't brag on them. They won't, you know, and I get to brag on them in paper transactionally, but being able to brag on them transformationally in this setting, I always like doing that.
And being in the wrestling sport that you're in, you know, there's a lot of self-discipline and motivation. You know, it's intense, it's emotional, it's all those things. But I think it, like you say, it prepares them for things down in the future. When things maybe not going the way you want them to go, you got to remember back, hey, we had some tough times, you know, when I was wrestling, you know. And when you're on the mat out there, you know, we've talked about this before, nobody's going to come out there and relieve you and tap you out. And do you ever trash talk your opponent, Brooke, out there? I mean, you ever say anything?
No, I don't really trash talk, but I mean, I'll stare someone down, but that's about the extent of it. So.
She's lying. Brooke is very competitive. I mean, she's competitive. I wish our brother had a little bit of that competitiveness in him, but Brooke is very competitive.
She don't give the stink eye then, huh?
No, you know, Ty's pretty passive. Like, Ty gets in this, when he goes blank and he gets in this zone, it's like, you know, he's ready. But Gunner's a lot like, I just love watching Gunner wrestle, because like him and our 113/120 pounder Bryson Terrell, like, we're emotional wrestlers. Like there's an amp in the air. It's like, yes, let's go. Like, that's what it's kind of been our theme this year, is like, let's go. Like, but you know, they're all, I would say that I wouldn't think that Ty would talk some smack, but I think that Gunner has whispered sweet nothings in someone's ear before. You know, he came to me at the Region Duels the other night and he was like, hey, Coach, I know we're going to forfeit out if we get to this point, but I really want to wrestle that guy. He beat me last year. I'm like, okay, we'll make that happen. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he said something to him a time or two. And then he helped him up afterwards and patted him on the back and helped him off the mat after he pinned him. But I'm pretty sure that there was some talking involved there.
Can you hear the coach hollering at you when you're in a match? I know you're out there, you're zoned in, focused on what you're trying to do, but you don't hear him at all.
I mean, I guess in some situations when I know I need help, then my ears will catch on to it. But like when you're in the zone, you really don't think. You just go out there and just do something.
When your opponent has you in some kind of lock hold or whatever, and you just can't get out of that, and you think, okay, 10 more seconds on the clock here, can I hold out? Do you think about the time out there that you're trying to hold on till till the round's over? Or?
To be honest, not all the time, unless you know it's close.
Yeah.
If it's a close match and you know time is a crucial thing, then it's time to like freak out and like
Yeah.
listen to your coaches, listen to what they need to say. But if you know you're good in the match and you're like, you just need to calm down, figure out what you need to do, and then find your way out and keep going.
Oh, good stuff there. Coach, we might talk about what's happened since our last show and what's coming up here immediately.
Sure, yeah,
a lot of good stuff.
A lot of good stuff's happened. Last Tuesday we were coming into the regional duels for both guys and girls. And we'll talk about the girls first since Brooklyn's here. So they actually had won. They finished runner-up in the region, so that qualified them for the sectional. So that's the first time that had happened in our very small history. They beat Tullahoma, a very traditionally rich, strong female program. Lost to Cleveland in the region dual finals, but that set them up for an opportunity to compete for a state qualification berth, which would be top 8 at the state duels this weekend. So they had to wrestle Gibbs, the champion out of the Knoxville region, and we were runner-up. And man, we were right there, 29-42. We had an illness that week. One of our girls got sick like the day before and had a fever, couldn't compete. That very well could have been a win for us. And our girls have done a great job, and I know that they think I've had to separate myself and back up from them because Coach Kinsey and Coach Moore are trying to establish their program without me, and they should. But just being a little bit hypercritical I feel like that was an underachievement. I think that there were a couple girls that were winning in those moments and then lost. I mean, so a lot like our match on Thursday against Cleveland, I do believe that the girls had their opportunities to be at the state duels this weekend, and I hope that moving forward, we're about to see what Coach Kinsey and Coach Moore are made of, because you got to pick yourself up from a tough loss. I mean, at that point, you're technically a top 16 program in the state, and hey, awesome, top 12 program in the state. That's great, but that's not the end game. But
right.
So now the girls, they lost that close match, and that was a really good draw for us. We were excited to have Gibbs or Maryville, but just couldn't put it together that day. But super proud of their effort dual-wise. They've cut some girls loose, and now we're focusing on the individuals. There's 12 weight classes in the girls' individual state championships. We're going to be able to fill 10 or 11 of them, and of those 10 or 11, we've got 6 or 7 girls that are going to make some noise, and so you can win a state championship with that on the individual realm. So they're kind of shifting back toward. They've got a 3-week window to get better, to get healthy, and to kind of specialize on their regional qualifications. The guys and I, we lost a 1-point match in the regional championships to Cleveland at McMinn County. We've closed the gap again. And if my demeanor or my voice changes, that's still a hard loss for us to process. But I was talking with Matt Moore this morning, a Coy Region FCA guy, and he was like, you know what? And we were looking at the negatives, and that, we could have done this, and we could have done that, and this, that, and other. But Matt was like, yeah, let's take that picture and put it in a different frame. We call that reframing. Now reframe that. Like all the areas where you did close the gap, and you still had all these areas of error. Like you're right there, and so, we had to travel to Blackman on Saturday and wrestle the sectional qualifier, and we put it to Blackman. They're pretty good. They're a top 6 or 7 program, and we beat them 64-14.
Wow.
We won 11 matches, 10 of them by pin, like the guys responded. And so we've got the state dual championships coming up this weekend. We're the number 2 seed. We have an opportunity to do something special and win our 27th state championship, and that's what we're focusing on this week.
Sounds like you've got it rolling, man, and it's just an exciting thing to have going on, and gosh, we wish you the best of luck, and hope everybody gets a pin or whatever just to come out as on top and see what you do,
We have an opportunity to do something special.
And I think...
I feel good about it. You couldn't have convinced me Thursday night we weren't going to win that match and it didn't go our way. That hasn't left me. At some point, it's going to happen this year. And I really believe that we're going to win our 27th state championship here at Bradley Central High School, and I think that the girls are going to make some noise on their side of the arena, and we're going to make some noise on our side of the arena. And, I think that there's going to be some rings and some banners ordered this year, so I'm looking forward to it.
I like the attitude. That's guys and Brooklyn. Wish you all the best of luck in the upcoming matches here. Get them out there, represent the B, as we say, and do your thing. Great show again, Ben. We always appreciate you coming in. Brooklyn, Ty, Gunner, thanks for being here, guys. 3 of our great seniors. And you got, how many seniors you have on the team this year, by the way?
Too many.
Too many.
I got too many.
We're gonna lose a lot of good guys.
Got a lot. And this is a
Yeah.
group that's been with me. I mean, like if you look at the timeline, I've been the head coach 12 years. You know, you've got these guys and girls that have wrestled for this program since 3rd and 4th grade. I mean, they've been loyal and true to the program for a long time, and so that relational capacity that we've developed over these years makes this a very special group to have. And so I don't like thinking about them leaving, but I've got 20, 25, 24 more days with them, so I'm just going to enjoy every bit of it.
There you go. There you go. That's been Coach Ben Smith here for the Bear Wrestling program here at Bradley Central, along with Brooke, Ty, and Gunner. We appreciate them taking time out of their schedule to be here today, and we'll do a show again next week.
Sure.
Until next time, this is Gary Ownbey saying so long for now. God bless, and go Bears and Bearettes.